Hi, first thing we have to do here is to create control inputs or control components. If you have no idea what I mean by that, just click on the link on the top right. This will lead you to a tutorial about control components. It is very simple and very short. So first we start by creating a state for all of our inputs. So it is email, it has an empty string, it is password, also with an empty string, and password repeat. So to have easy access to them, we create a constant or password and password repeat this dot state. So we can just write email instead of this dot state dot email. And what's the problem? So now we convert our inputs to control inputs. First, we start with the email. So we create our onChange handler and give it the event and say this dot set state. Say email equals e.target.value. So then the value of our input becomes email, because we have said email is this.state.email. So it should work again, but being a controlled input. So since we have that, we can very easily say, so email.length is more than 0, so something is written. It should have input label filled, and otherwise it is still just input label. Filled is a class that I created here in CSS that keeps the label up. So let's try this and go out, and yes, it stays on top. So all we have to do is copy this code here, and instead of email we need password, and here we have a password repeat. We have control inputs, but the thing is we still need this class management, and since it's quite a lot of code for JSX, we want to create an own function for that. So let's copy that and say we create a method that we call input label class, and we give it label, and we say constant of class name equals label dot length, and then it is either input label with filled or just input label. So let's return the class name, and now we should be able to just call this method here instead of all this code, just saying this dot input label class with email. So let's check if this works first, and yes, it does. So we copy it to the other ones, saying here's password, and here it is password repeat. Now all of our labels should work, and yes, they do. And since I hated not to be able to see my password, I want this little toggle button to work so that I'm able to toggle the visibility of my password. This is very simple. We create another state. This is password visible. We start with an is because this is a boolean, and let's start with false, or it may seem more trustworthy not to show the password that I entered at first. Again, very simple. We have a type here, and we just changed the type with, we ask, is password visible? Oh no, is password not visible? Then the input type is password, otherwise the input type should be text. Oh, and I guess, yes, I forgot to put it here in the states. So this should toggle now. Oh, no. Of course we need the onClick handler first. So let's go here. We have a span doing this. So we create our onClick handler and give it an arrow function. This set state is password visible to the opposite it was before, is password visible, since we want to toggle button it, not just to enable the visibility. So let's try this, and yeah, it's working. And since when I show one password, I can also show the other one, so I only created this one toggle and this one state, and we can just copy this part and give it to the type of our password repeat. So if the password is visible, the repetition of the password will also be visible. And yeah, that is working fine. Next thing we want to do is validation. Validation is a science of its own, so you will find a lot of stuff about validating emails, how a good password should be validated, and stuff like this. I don't want to dive into that. I will use the easiest validations available. But we've managed a lot for today. Validation will be part of the next tutorial. See you next time.